will be coming up this month, and it is the FIFA Club World Cup. Well, it's not going to be about the FIFA World Cup in particular, but then players are making moves because of that tournament. We've already seen Trent Alexander-Arnold join Real Madrid, and he will be playing at that tournament. Another player who will be playing at that tournament is Liam Delap, who has officially joined Chelsea. Calvin Kelleher has moved from Liverpool to Brentford. There are so many players that are making moves. In fact, Jeremy Frimpong has also joined Liverpool. And so we'll be looking at players that are making the moves in the summer transfer window. Of course, we have these and many more on the Weekend Sports Rally on Z101.9 FM. But then again, the question is very simple. Between Ousmane Dembele and Lamine Yamal, who wins the Ballon d'Or, or who is your favorite to win the Ballon d'Or? In fact, add your reasons for choosing whoever you choose for the Ballon d'Or. You can send your answers via the WhatsApp line 0544321019. 0544321019. Or better still, you can join us on Facebook, ZFMGH, and on X as well as Instagram. On YouTube and TikTok, you can join us on Z Multimedia. Good morning once again and welcome to the Weekend Sports Rally. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moment. Before we get into the discussions, I'll run you through the matches that will be coming up in the Ghana Premier League this weekend. All games will be played simultaneously on Sunday at exactly 3 p.m. Now tomorrow at the Nana Fosu Jabo Park, Bichim United will be hosting Young Apostles. Accra House of Oak will take on dethroned champions FC Samatex. BBN Gold Stars will be playing Accra Lions, and there is a lot at stake in that game because BBN Gold Stars will be wanting to win the Ghana Premier League. Vision FC will be playing Kumasi Asante Kotoko in Tema. Ediana Stars will be facing Basake Holy Stars. Mediama SC will play Brekum Chelsea. And Karela United's game against Nswatriman FC has been cancelled because Nswatriman FC quitted the Ghana Premier League along the way. Grims FC will face relegated Legon Cities. And Nations FC will be playing Heart of Lions on Sunday in Kumasi. Yeah, so those are the matches that will be coming up in the Ghana Premier League on the final day of the 2024-2025 season. We'll be looking into the upcoming games and how the season could ultimately end. But then there is one issue at stake: Basake Holy Stars and Nations FC. Last week, that game didn't end, and the Ghana Football Association says they are investigating that matter. But then would it make sense for the final games to come on without making a decision on that game between Nations FC and Basake Holy Stars? This has been the question that is lingering on the minds of many, especially with a lot at stake in terms of who wins the Ghana Premier League. Well, so the three venues that will be, or that will catch the attention of many, will be the BBNE, where Gold Stars will be playing Accra Lions, Tema, where Asante Kotoko will be facing Vision FC, and Kumasi, where Nations FC will be facing Heart of Lions. Well, I promise you there will be a lot on the show this morning, but like we do it every Saturday morning, we'll be running you through some rumors or transfer gossips this morning. Newcastle United have made a move to try to sign 23-year-old Sweden winger Anthony Elanga from Nottingham Forest. Remember, Newcastle will be playing in the UEFA Champions League next season. Liverpool have submitted a fresh bid of £100 million plus £30 million in add-ons for Bayern Leverkusen midfielder for Florian Wirtz, but the Bundesliga club are holding out for more for the 22-year-old Germany international. Arsenal have formally approached the RB Leipzig to sign 22-year-old Slovenia striker Benjamin Sesko, although no bids has yet been lodged. And for fans of Manchester United, the club have made an offer worth £60 million for Brentford and Cameroon winger Brian Mbeumo after they had a first bid totaling £55 million rejected. It looks like Mbeumo is really expensive on the market. Inter Milan have made informal inquiries about signing £40 million rated Manchester United and Denmark forward Rasmus Højlund. And Lyon have rejected Manchester City's first offer for 21-year-old France attacking midfielder Ryan Cherki as negotiations between the two clubs continue. Tottenham will have to pay in excess of £10 million if they want to bring in Brentford boss Thomas Frank to replace Ange Postecoglou, who has been sacked by Tottenham Hotspurs. Well, I've heard another debate on the streets of London. People are calling for the head of Mikel Arteta, who has not won a trophy in 5 years and he's still holding on to his job, while Ange Postecoglou, who won a title in just 2 years, has been sacked. Should Arsenal keep Mikel Arteta, or should they just let him leave? You can send your answers via the phone line or the WhatsApp line 0544321019. Away from that to Italy, where Serie A champions Napoli are weighing up a move for 25-year-old England defender Trevor Chalobah, who helped Chelsea qualify for the Champions League and win the UEFA Conference League after returning from a loan spell at Crystal Palace in January. Bayern Munich, Real Madrid and AC Milan are keen on Italy goalkeeper Gianluigi Donnarumma if he fails to agree a new deal at Paris Saint-Germain, while Inter Milan and Juventus may wait for his contract to expire in 2026 before making a move. This is according to Gazzetta dello Sport in Italy. Arsenal are among the clubs keen on 30-year-old Spain goalkeeper Kepa Arrizabalaga, who has a £5 million release clause in his Chelsea contract. England midfielder Angel Gomez, who is set to leave Lille at the end of his contract this summer, has an agreement in principle to join Marseille, who have beaten Tottenham and West Ham to land the 24-year-old. Marseille have made a contract offer to 29-year-old West Ham and Morocco defender Nayef Aguerd. Newcastle United are growing frustrated at being quoted inflated transfer fees, with Eintracht Frankfurt's £80 million asking price for Hugo Ekitike putting the Magpies off a move for the 22-year-old French forward. Crystal Palace have explored an ambitious deal for Sporting and Ivory Coast defender Ousmane Diamonde, who would cost around £45 million. Sunderland have rejected an offer for Borussia Dortmund for English midfielder Jobe Bellingham, but the clubs remain in talks about a deal for the 19-year-old. Yes, Jobe Bellingham is the junior brother of Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham. AC Milan have also shown interest in Bayern Leverkusen Swiss midfielder Granit Xhaka, while the Bundesliga club appear keen on bringing in Germany defender Malik Thiaw from the Serie A club. All right, welcome back to the Sports Rally, and my name is Lukman Evergreen Moment. The boys are already seated here. Larry is back on the show after missing out for almost 3 weeks. It felt like he was treating an injury. I mean, yeah, we missed him on the show. And there is also George Upon here. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Good morning, Lukman.
Let me start with you, Larry. It's obvious you are still celebrating the Liverpool victory. I don't know why it's been almost a month and you're still celebrating. But then, anyways, congratulations once again.
Thank you.
And welcome back to the show.
Charlie, we are celebrating all the way to next season, even into the season. We are the reigning champions. So, however you see, anytime you see me repping the Liverpool jersey, and let it know. Today, what's today's date?
Today is the
7th June.
Yeah, 7th of June.
Back to back.
7th June. We'll come back on 7th June.
But it's been a long while. 3 weeks away feels like
yeah.
I know.
It's really been a while.
The show. I had to deal with some personal, up and downs, but we are back.
It's good to have you back.
Back
in
on
your
our
Liverpool
pitch.
jersey. Talking about jersey, I also have George Upon here, who is in his Real Madrid jersey. It's been a trophyless season for them, but then I believe you guys.
I wonder how they still can wear their jersey after the season they have. I'm sorry.
Come on.
I'm trying to disrespect him.
Anyways, George, how was your week? How has it been? I mean, for the first time in like 3 seasons to not win any trophy. How does that feel?
Okay, let me be honest here. I don't want to say much. We will just bounce back.
So it's like the feeling is you bounce back.
You will bounce back. That is okay for now. I don't want to say much.
Well, I mean, it's Real Madrid. It's not us now. So when they say they will bounce back,
surely,
they know what they are talking about. And we also have Jonathan in the studio. Jonathan, how are you?
Boss, I'm doing good.
As for you people ruled Spain, and so it's good for you.
Now we are ruling Europe too.
Europe? How are you?
We have our guys dominating in the UEFA Nations League, so we are into the finals.
So now Barcelona is Spain.
So the Spanish national team is just a suburb for Barcelona. My guys are there and they are dominating, so I'm very happy. I'm in the mood. I'm not even missing club football because I'm always in the joyous mood. Boss.
These guys.
I just blame Didier Deschamps for all of this.
I don't know. I mean, but then there is something special about Lamine Yamal. He knows. He's found a way to make sure that, look, in a way, he's made Kylian Mbappe look so irrelevant in the discussions as to who the best players are at the moment. Because, look, anytime he plays Kylian Mbappe, he always wins. And it's quite surprising that at 17, he's had Kylian Mbappe on chokehold. And I mean, it's gonna. I thought we'll be seeing some rivalry, but then it doesn't look that way at all because Lamine is dominating. But that also brings us to what we will be discussing on the show. It's a simple question that I've put out there. I'm asking who you people think will win the Ballon d'Or. Now, the 2 names that are out there are Ousmane Dembele and then Lamine Yamal. So we'll definitely be talking about that. But then let's start with our own. There is this song that is out there. This is our own Ghana Premier League, back again. I know Jonathan will know that song very, very well. But then it's the end of the Ghana Premier League. We've seen so many controversies this season. Last weekend, there was another spectacle at Basake, that is in Enyinasi, that game between Basake Holy Stars and the Nations FC. It is quite surprising that the final round of games will be coming up without a resolution to what happened last week. I mean, Larry, you monitored that game.
Yeah, I did.
For any properly run league, this dispute should be solved before the final round of games. But then in our case, we are hearing that the games will be coming up. But then there is no statement from the Ghana Football Association claiming maybe this is the verdict from whatever investigation they are doing. All we heard from them is that there is an ongoing investigation into what happened between Basake and then Nations FC. But then what do you make of the fact that games will be coming up tomorrow, but then that issue has not been resolved? Because at the end of the day, Nations League are one of the contenders of the league. And if they have an issue that hasn't been resolved, it also affects the end of the league, how everything ends. So what do you make of that?
Okay, so to be fair, Lickman, I think the time span makes it difficult for that issue to be resolved before the next game. If they, I don't know, but I mean, the truth is, hardly do you find issues like this popping up in the advanced leagues. I mean, if you go somewhere like England, right? We take the Premier League, when we have a controversial VAR issue, right? We see the Referees Association issue a statement. Well, we had it wrong. but the points will not change. The outcome is decided after the final. After the whistle goes to the end of the game, whatever outcome that happens stays so, unless it is an incident that demands the docking of points. If you, let's say South African League, same. Immediately there will be a statement released as to, okay, this was a clear error from our end, and the whole spiral conspiracy can go on. You are conspiring to make sure we don't win the league and all of that. But at the end of the day, whatever happens after the final whistle, in most situations, remain the same. So, to be fair to the FA here, I think they can do little to this situation because of how our league is run. In the whole incident, we only have one angle of that penalty shout. Just one angle.
But then again, so to be fair with the FA themselves, there were 2 games that were supposed to be televised over the weekend.
Yeah.
One was Accra Lions and then Dreams FC. The other, interestingly, was Nations and then Basake.
And it wasn't aired.
It wasn't aired.
Why? For some reason.
Yeah,
exactly.
Why should that happen?
This is what makes some of these issues unpardonable, right? When it comes to the management of the game. Nations FC's reason for leaving the pitch was not down to the penalty shootout. It was down to their safety. I mean, with issues of they feeling threatened, and with what happened in some previous months, I don't want to remind us of our loss in this very season. They decided they were stepping down from the game. They were forfeiting the game. Now look at the statement from the owner of Nations FC, Dr. Kwame Che. Going on and saying he even regrets going into Ghana football and all of that. This is not a good spectacle for our football, because the very few businessmen we've been able to attract to support our league, unfortunately, are regretting putting their money into football. And let's be truthful, football does not earn you money immediately. Football is an investment kind of business. You run the football team over a few years, and then you start to either make money. In Ghana here, you will not make money through games. So either from player sales and other stuff. Unfortunately, look at in Swatraman, the MP, was it the is it the former MP?
Yeah, former
the
MP.
owner.
Yeah, Ignatius Bafoewa.
He's out of. I don't think he will come back into supporting football. Dr. Kwame Che is saying same. Pakosi Indum complaining about the league and its management. Unfortunately, the way we've managed our league gives us these issues at the end of the day. Because one, if you want to even resolve the issue with the footballing, right? If you want to resolve the issue, where are the footages?
Yeah.
Where is the referee report? Where is witness? I mean, the match commissioner. Even Nations FC, they are pointing the match commissioner for an error in terms of why the game wasn't aired, when they raised issues as to their cameraman being assaulted. Commissioner saying, where is the commissioner's report? Well, we will not get to see these things. But as you said, as at this point, I was expecting more of a statement from the FA. See, admit to it, per what we have had and everything, we feel maybe Nations FC were wrong for so and so, so the results stay the same. Or is it Basake Holy Stars they played? Basake did this and that, and they've breached this, so they are being fined. Let's be up to what we do. Unfortunately, even look at when the FA statement came. It took them about 3 days.
All right, so the FA statement came, that was exactly 3 days ago.
3 days after.
Yeah, and this is what the FA statement says. GFA investigating reported incidents of violence at Holy Stars Nations FC match. The Ghana Football Association has taken note of reports of violence incidents that occurred during the Ghana Premier League match between Basake Holy Stars and Nations FC played over the weekend. The association has commenced a thorough investigation into reported incidents. The GFA wishes to assure all stakeholders, including clubs, players, match officials, supporters, and the general public, that it remains committed to safeguarding the integrity of the game and will deal with all issues arising from the matter expeditiously and decisively. We will urge all parties involved to cooperate fully with ongoing investigations. Further updates will be provided in due course. And this has been 3 days and no other updates have been provided. So it tells you that there is a slow pace at which we deal with some of these issues. But then because of the magnitude of the
game.
situation going into the final matches, something should have been
something
done.
should have been said. And that was just what I was coming to. We have the final matches to the end of the season. This was a pre-ultimate match.
Yeah, penultimate game.
Penultimate game to the end of the season. This is a team that is gunning for the topmost trophy. If anything happens to Nations FC's bid or ambition to win the trophy, and I think they will win it, but if anything happens on the last day, there will be huge fingers being pointed at the FA and the mismanagement of the league. Already we know the league has been mismanaged. But the timing of the incident does not also favor the FA in this case. And that is where we felt like a swift action should have been taken. See, they should have just admitted, well, Basake Pair, what we've seen, swiftly, let us handle this, let us handle that. We dock you this points, or we fine you this amount, and we go for it. Nations, you were wrong for forfeiting the game for so and so reasons. From our match commissioner, this is the report we had. Then you give an immediate response. Then if Nations would like to pick it up for further investigations and pulling it further, then you can drag that into the end of the season. But at least you give a response to that, so that going to the ultimate game of the season, every team knows where they stand. Nations, they do know what they need to do to win the league now. And I'm sure they will deliver on the last day. But the FA should have been stripped. Then again, it points to the fact that all the FA members were not in the country.
We'll definitely come to that issue. But then this is a statement from Nations FC as well. Well, so this is an official statement from Nations FC. They've given 4 or 5 reasons why they had to walk away from that game. First, it is poor officiating. They said the level of officiating was extremely poor and fell well below the expected standard. This compromised the fairness and credibility of the match, raising serious concerns about the integrity of the competition. The second one is security concerns. Our president, Mr. Divine Che Buedu, and chairman, Dr. Kwame Che, were physically assaulted by home supporters. The hostile and violent conduct created an unsafe environment for our players, technical team, and officials. And then again, inadequate security personnel. Pre-match agreements stipulated the deployment of 70 police officers for adequate security. However, fewer than 20 officers were present on the day, leaving our team and the supporters vulnerable and exposed. Now, disrespect to our supporters. Despite holding a valid match ticket, or despite holding valid match tickets, our fans were unjustly denied entry into the stadium. And then the final one is media obstruction. Our accredited club videographer, who had full authorization from the Ghana Football Association, was prevented from recording the match by both supporters and the officials of the home team, with the apparent support of the match commissioner. Now, let me come to you, George. You look at all these points that have been listed, and this is exactly some of the things that happened leading to the death of Nana Pole. And these are serious issues. First of all, there is poor officiating. Security. I mean, for the club licensing board, we were told that there's been new arrangements. 70 police officers will be at each match venue. At the end of the day, you go there and then there are only 20 police officers. It gives you every single right to walk away. You look at the points like I'm saying. Don't you think that it's justifiable that Nations FC couldn't continue that game?
Okay. To be very honest here, I really support Nations FC 100%. Because I've always been saying this FA in this country is not serious at all. When it comes to security, when it comes to officiating and a whole lot. You promise them you give them at least 70 policemen, right? And you couldn't even reach at least 20 policemen. So let's talk about security. You don't even think about the players. You don't even think about the supporters. And that penalty the ref called, it was very, very bad.
Oh, you saw the penalty?
It was very, very bad. It was very, very bad. So the players had to do some actions over there so that the ref will see they don't want. Because it was a high time. I don't even know how to put it. This FA is very corrupt.
So you think the corruption of
it's very, very corrupt.
Okay.
They don't want Nations FC to win the league.
Wow.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
See, I don't want to reflect on based on the past issues between Dr. Kwame Che and Keto Kreku. I have evidence there.
So you think that the relationship between Dr. Kwame Che and Dr. Keto Kreku is the reason why we are seeing what
exactly.
Wow, that's
they are not cool no more.
Okay.
And he's also the FA president. He can only mafia.
So you think he manipulates
exactly.
All right, let me come to you, Jonathan. I mean, from the aftermath of Nana Pole's death, there were so many arrangements as to how we will be returning to the Ghana Premier League. Unfortunately, each and every day we get the same things happening. I remember a game, a Division 1 game between Atram de Visa and one of the teams, and there was the same a similar incident. And even before that, there was another incident that happened. I think it was in Tamale, and all these things continue to happen even after all. After all these things, this comes to one question: you think that it was not right for us to return to the league because all these issues have not been solved?
Boss, you see, we have to be very, very careful here. Football will now go from what the officials will do, because they are the final authority makers in terms of the play itself on the pitch. But if it comes to professionalism, no matter how drunk the referee is, no matter how bad officiating is, it is not in the place of the players to even create chaotic movement on the pitch. And why will players do that? You see, we have a system here that even ahead of that game, I saw people tweeting score lines. Not only that game, match week 33 of the Ghana Premier League,
predicting goal scorers.
People were predicting goal scorers. People were predicting. We are here. We predict the English Premier League.
No, not prediction. They were actually calling the goal scorers.
We predict the La Liga. We predict. We even bet on games in Europe.
So
and we go in that we are not sure we are predicting. But in the Ghana Premier League, go and check the tweets about the Ghana Premier League.
Well,
they will say confirmed and sealed and fixed. This will happen.
So you think
it will happen?
For you think the integrity of the Ghana Premier League is
zero.
Wow.
-5.
Zero.
You all agree with that?
No.
Boss, because and the reason why the integrity will be down there is if officials and even players don't know their roles well. Because tell me how a footballer will be against a referee even ahead of a game. Tell me why football match will be ongoing, and then before even kick-off, match officials are not comfortable. Tell me why team owners will be following their teams to playing grounds, and they will rather be calling shots and not even the players or the coach. You see, you won't see Florentino Perez on the pitch going to talk to official, because that's not his job. They have team people. They have people who do that duties. In the Ghana Premier League, it is high time we have to understand this. Even from our juvenile football, our footballers don't know their role and what they have to stick to. Because in football, even if you're having a good point, the approach you take to address issues even can get you a red card. Go and check what happened. That fights broke out against Nsuatreman and then that team, Kotoko, that Pole died. Because fans and players were all involved in the chaotic things happening at the pitch at the Nana Fosuji Abuwa Park. Same thing is happening elsewhere. Talk about security. Fine, security man can't be on the pitch to play with the 11 players and also the referee. So it is high time our players and our footballers act like professionals, respecting the referees and their. If you disagree with the referee, after the game you lodge a complaint. If you disagree, you take things, you do things appropriately. There are channels and mediums for you to get things done. You don't go onto the pitch, try to beat a referee up. Right after Pole's death, we were here. Something happened at the Indum Sports Stadium. Mebwa. Why? Because we don't learn. You see footballers punching referees like punching bags. That's not their job. That is not the job of our footballers. They have to learn. In football, you can tell me that because the referee took a decision, it was not in your favor, you were angry, and because of that, you were not able to control your anger. And you won't travel out of Ghana. No, because no, if you like score 30 goals, and then there are reports about you internationally that We have attitude-wise. This player punched the referee. He did that. He did. Where's Augustino Kra? Augustino Kra.
Yeah, but he's been around. He's been
one fantastic winger we've seen in the Ghana Premier League. He'll go to Egypt. He'll come back. Tanzania. He'll come back.
So you think his attitude
all
is the
these
reason why?
Will not help your career as a footballer.
So you blame the footballers for everything that is going on.
Wait, what Nations FC did? Fine. If they disagree with the referee's decision and then they take matters into their hand, then we won't play again. What's be that? We won't play again.
No, but then so this is the reason why I give you some of the reasons why they actually walked off. First of all, they said poor officiating. Like you are alluding, the players had to react because officiating was not going well. But then it was wrong for them to do that, which I believe was right, because for players, when officiating is not going right, you have the right to protest, but you have to do it diligently. Now, apart from that, security concerns was raised. Inadequate security personnel was also raised. Disrespect to supporters. According to Nations FC, their supporters were not allowed to enter the stadium, and then media obstruction. So it is not just about players, and so they might be justified. Or you think the fact that the players attacked the referee, that's it.
That's the extreme way to go about things. So for a footballer to take matters in his security, I know very well. Now we have to ask ourselves this question. In Africa here, we pay more attention to match commissioners than Europe. Have you ever heard the Spanish La Liga saying that the match commissioner between Deportivo Alaves and maybe Osasuna is Mr. Santiago Solari? What's that? No. We don't throw more light on them. Do you know why? They keep their job, they are professionals, and they do it very diligently. In Ghana here, we have to ask ourselves this question. Before a game will take place at maybe in Swatreman or maybe Techima 11 Wonders in Techima, there has to be a match commissioner, someone from the GFA, from the league's board, to go to Techima to supervise and even check if the pitch in Techima is okay, fit, and approved for the game. He is the same person who would be in charge of the jerseys that in Swatreman or maybe Techima 11 Wonders will be wearing, just to check these things. Even lineups, team squad, it is the job and the role of the match commissioner to make sure these things are well checked before the game will even come onto the pitch. So this is my question. If they are citing about fans, intimidating their fans, security not up there, and don't they know they are right? Who was the match commissioner for that game between Nations FC and then Basake Holy Stars? We are blaming Nations, we are blaming Basake Holy Stars, security GFA. Who was the match commissioner? Nejumane Deng. What was his role over there? What exactly? Nokoda Hotel, Koji, Chicago, Bottom. What were he doing over there? You see, if something happened. The game didn't end well. Who do you blame? You go directly to the match commissioner because you'll be sending reports to the GFA.
Well, I mean, it's quite interesting. Jonathan is really heated up for this particular one. But then let's just move away from that and then look at the matches that will be coming up. We'll be focusing on the teams that will likely win the Ghana Premier League. Now, as a stand, when you look at the Ghana Premier League table, BBN Gold Stars sit top of the table with 60 points, and then there is Nations FC in second place with 60 points. Kumasi Asante Kotoko are in third place with 58 points. But then, interestingly, Nations FC have played 32 matches. They've not played.
A moment. Is the Ghana Premier League determined by goal difference?
Goal difference, not goal difference. It's head to head. Yeah.
Okay, that's why Gold Stars are ahead.
Yeah, that's why Gold Stars are ahead. Yeah, so it makes it quite interesting. And so heading into the final round of games, you look at the games that will be coming up. BBN Gold Stars will be playing Accra Lions tomorrow in BBN, which looks like a done deal for them because Accra Lions have nothing to play for. They've been relegated. You look at Vision FC and then Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Kumasi Asante Kotoko's situation is quite sticky. They would have to win to be able to go top of BBN, and then BBN and Nations FC would have to lose for something to happen. So let's just pick them one by one. Now, the most important one is Nations FC and then Heart of Lions. Larry, let's look at that game. Nations FC have to beat Heart of Lions, but then they will still have to wait for the verdict from that game to see whether they will be winners or not. But like I was saying, let's look at that game. You look at Heart of Lions themselves; they've not fared badly.
Yeah.
They are fourth on the table, and so it makes it a very crunch one.
Yeah.
What do you expect, or what do you think will be happening in that game?
It's going to be a tough fixture. It's going to be quite feisty for the day. I think that will be the game to watch. Looking at the position of both teams on the table, Nations second on the table, only same on points, but just second based on head-to-head with Gold Stars. They beat Hearts of Lions at their home back in January. It was a 1-0 narrow win, but it is what has gotten them to where they are now. Now they'll be playing at home. They have the opportunity to win in front of their fans. They will definitely have the backing of the fans. I just hope that they're able to whip their fans into order. Looking at what happened in the previous game, I'm praying on Nations FC. Go out there and win the game cleanly. There should be no shenanigans before or after the match. I think they have enough to beat Hearts of Lions. Hearts of Lions would not come into the game. Well, they have a chance of winning as well, mathematically.
Yeah, mathematically.
But it will not. I don't think they'll be looking at that per their aim for the match. Okay. I think they'll just be looking to spoil the party. You know, there's always that nice feeling where you are the one that actually spoils someone's party. So you come in ready for the game.
The best life party.
Exactly. You come and spoil everyone's, salad that they prepared at Nations. Just this weekend, just to celebrate their win. So they'll be coming poised for the game as well. But I don't think they have a lot to fight for. I think that is what would make Nations FC edge and win the game. I'm hoping that they actually win the trophy because back in January we were here discussing them, and I did mention that they've actually had a good run and they've been surprise winners. That's Razak Simpson's team, right?
Yeah.
They've been phenomenal, and I just hope they're able to put their things in order and win that game.
All right. Now, the other game that is of contention will be Vision FC and then Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Yes, for Kotoko, they have a slim chance of winning the title, but then that would depend on other results. Do you think that Kumasi Asante Kotoko have really done enough this season to, maybe give it a final push?
Oh, okay. Between Kotoko, I'm just hoping Vivian Gold Stars will lose. So that Kotoko will qualify for the CAF Champions League. I don't see any potential from Bibiani Gold Stars.
Kotoko would only have to qualify for the Champions League if they win the league.
And if only Bibiani Gold Stars loses, surely they will overtake
BBNE. But then there is also Nations FC.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's not going to be a straightforward thing for Kumasi.
No, it's not.
But I'm just hoping, is it Kotoko from the start of the league? Things were running smoothly, but within the second half of the league, then Prosper didn't get his things right. I even heard there was a problem between Frederick Asari and even Prosper, the coach and other stuff. So I'm just hoping Kotoko will make it. I'm just hoping Nations will lose and BBN will. They have the good players, and right now talking about informed keeper Mohamed Kamara. He's also good. I want that guy to be at the top level. So I'm just hoping Kotoko will win and Nations and BBN will also lose so that to get to.
Well, I mean, talking about Nations and BBN losing, Jonathan, do you think there will be a way for BBN Gold Stars to lose that game against Accra Lions?
Yes.
Accra Lions will beat BBN.
No. That game might even end in a draw. This is the Ghana.
Oh, okay.
This is the Ghana Premier League.
Yeah.
And I know very well how our people place their final games. Who baby free acting song on my phone. And I know if you check Lions, they are built up. Are they saved or they are already?
No. They actually need a win, and they hope Basake Holy Stars loses.
So, you see, Accra Lions don't really have their fate in their own hands, but BBN Gold Stars have their fate in their own hands. And at the dance park, man, BBN Gold Stars have a 70% chance of wrapping up the Ghana Premier League with a win against Accra Lions over there. You check their stats and you check what they've been doing over there. Their stats in terms of home games are very, very strong. against Accra Lions. So hopefully, it's very sad to see one of the teams in the Ghana Premier League that produce talent for Wafu side. Even you talk about how they picked players, giving the young lads the opportunity to play, to showcase their talent, will be going back to the Division 1 sides to play their zone. Difficult for them, but they've done it before. But for them to, sit there to look at things for things to be this bad, BBNE Gold Stars battling for the Ghana Premier League. I think that win will be for BBNE at the dance park.
All right. So, yes, Jonathan is going for a win for BBNE Gold Stars.
Look, man, sorry, I have a question. So what happens if BBNE wins and Nations loses?
Well, even if BBNE wins and Nations wins, there is still 63-63. What happens to the results?
Why do we do this to us?
You see, so because what?
Because it means after the last game, nobody can actually celebrate.
Exactly. And then what can also happen is that if you say, okay, BBNE Nations FC are wrong, are in the wrong, and then maybe you want to deduct them points, they have every right to go to the court of arbitration for so, and that would further even drag the situation. That is why a verdict would have been better before the final round of matches. But then that is it with the Ghana Premier League. Like I said, these are the matches that will be coming up tomorrow. Bethlehem United will be playing Young Apostles. And then Accra House of Folk will be playing FC Samatex. BBNE Gold Stars will be up against Accra Lions. Vision FC will play Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Aduana Stars will be facing Basake Holy Stars. Midiama SC will play Brekum Chelsea. And Karela United's game against Swatriman FC, that one has been cancelled. Dreams FC will play Legon Cities. And Nations FC faces Heart of Lions in the final round of games. Well, away from the Ghana Premier League to the UEFA Champions League. What a game it was in Munich last week. Paris Saint-Germain did it a very good way, in a special way. They defeated Inter Milan by 5-0 to win their first ever UEFA Champions League. Well, from an Olympic Marseille fan, I was totally disgusted. I felt so bad. I was disappointed. But then, I mean, kudos to them. Even whether they like it or not, we are the first French team to win the UEFA Champions League. And we did it with our own very Abedi Pele. So what happened last Saturday was that Ashraf Hakimi opened the scoring in the 12th minute before Desiree Doué, the man of the match in that game, scored a brace. Keviska Kvaratskhelia scored in the 73rd minute before Seni Mayulu completed the mauling, scoring with 4 minutes remaining. So Paris Saint-Germain are the champions of Europe. Let me start with you, Larry. I mean, I didn't expect a 5-0 mauling. Even though I had PSG on my books as favorites to win the UEFA Champions League, but 5-0, what went wrong for Inter Milan on that day?
I was disgusted. Oh yes, I was. I mean, everybody knows that I was actually rooting for Inter in the final. for agenda reasons. I just didn't want PSG winning. I didn't really have a problem if PSG wins. I just didn't want Dembele winning the Ballon d'Or. I wanted it to be quite even.
So you think Dembele will be winning?
At this point, Dembele should win it.
You will come.
We'll
to
come
the
there. Yes, Dembele should win it. But I was hoping PSG would not win, so that it becomes a balance field between Salah, Dembele, and that. So Salah would actually have a chance at it. But when PSG and the manner in which they won, what did Inter go and do on the game? I mean, see, you do not go to a final and lose 5-0. You do not go and lose a Champions League final. You see, at the end of the day, what you do is it does not even sell the game. And I'm sure UEFA would even be looking at that score and would be like, this is what you guys would have come to do. I mean, what is this? I mean, in a semi-final, we were discussing what happened between Barca and Inter. And I mentioned it categorically that I was unimpressed by Simone Inzaghi and his coaching of the team. In the 2 legs, he set up a team in a way that he was not pragmatic to close shop when he needed to close shop to win. First leg against Barca, took the lead. Barca had to come back, drawn game, go back to Italy, takes the lead. Barca actually comes back, wins almost winning the game, and then Frattesi and then the other guys, step in and Inter win and get to the final. For the way Inter Milan plays and the way for the way Barcelona plays and the way PSG plays, there's literally very little difference. So I was feeling he would have used the Barca game as a preparatory ground to, correct his mistakes and how he sets up his team. Again, he went into that PSG game opening up. And see, I was saying it here the last time, people were like, that's Inzaghi style. But Italian way of playing football is not to open up so much. You have players who understand how to play the Italian game. You are an Italian legend yourself. You are going into a final. A final is not where you go and play the most flamboyant kind of football.
You do or die.
Look at Liverpool's final against Tottenham. It was one of our worst performances in the Champions League, but we got the job done. 2-0 flat. It's a final. You do not go and open up so much and want to play tiki-taka with players who are so technically ahead of your players. That PSG midfield of Vitinha, João Neves, Edoué, Kvaratskhelia, come on. You cannot go and match them boot for boot with, how do you call it?
Mkhitaryan,
you won't get there. These are
Marco.
boys who are in their 30s. These are young men who are in their 20s. They will outrun your midfield.
João Neves is just 19
They will
or 20.
outrun your midfield.
Vitinha 25 years
And that's
old.
what they did to them.
Yeah.
Look at what happened in the first 20-25 minutes. Inter were chasing shadows on the pitch. And see, I only got to watch the first. After the first half, I just packed my bag and left.
Really?
Because I was actually at an event the whole of the weekend, so I needed to catch. And immediately I saw the results of the first half, I got disappointed and I got up. I was like, let me go back to what I'm doing because they will definitely lose. Then I see the scoreline because first half was 3-0.
Yeah, 3-0.
Then I see the scoreline at the end of the game. I was like,
it could have been worse, actually.
it could have been worse. It
Yeah.
could have because I saw the highlights and I was like, wow.
Yeah.
But kudos to PSG. Inter shambolic, but kudos to PSG. See, the way, funny enough, right? If you look at teams that have actually won the Champions League in recent years, they are actually teams that have peaked when it mattered. Apart from Liverpool's win in 2019. When Madrid won it recently, they were not the best team in the group stages. Remember, they went to Shakhtar Donetsk or so and lost, or they went to draw in that season. But immediately got to the playoff round, Madrid started to peak. And that team, whenever they start to see the Champions League, that is possible because they start to peak at a very good time.
Well, there are pundits that said that while PSG were beginning to get better and better, Inter Milan were beginning to get worse and worse along the way because at the start of the group stages,
they were
Inter
second.
Milan, they were one of the best teams in the group stages. But then during the elimination stages, PSG began to pick, and that was it.
That was it for them.
Even in the group stages, you had the likes of Bracola starting ahead of Desiree Doué. And on that final day,
Desiree Doué now gets
ahead of Bracola, it tells you that Luis Enrique was doing something behind the scenes that we didn't know about.
Yes, and after, I think PSG, when they got that playoff win to go and face Liverpool, and they were able to beat Liverpool by penalties and get into the next round, then they started to believe. Because in that first leg against Liverpool actually gave them enough belief for them to think they can come to Anfield and get a result, though they lost. And truly, they came to Anfield, got a 2-1, 2-2 penalty shootout. They win, and then they go ahead. And that is the perfect kind of motivation booster you can give to any team. From there on, people started mentioning PSG to be in the final, because if you look at the log of where they were coming from, they were definitely going to face teams that you feel they were equal matched, and they could Aston Villa. You definitely look at PSG's team and they have enough firepower, and that's what happened. Boom, all the way to the final, they get there. Now Inter Milan, again in the group stages, they were one of the favorites. Inter, Barca, Liverpool, they were the top three. So now they start to win their playoffs against FC Bayern Munich. They won at the latter minute, I think in the 80th minute or so, they got a win. They were able to progress to the next round. But if you looked at it, when it came to the domestic matches, PSG had literally wrapped up their league. Inter were on a trophy hunt with Napoli, back to back. And they had to win it on the last day. I was here and then I mentioned that I think Inter have prioritized the Champions League over the Serie A, because I think 3 matches to the end of the Serie A, they play with the second French team ahead of a Champions League game. And I said it looks like Inzaghi has prioritized the Champions League over the Serie A. But they ended up winning the Serie A. Now you end up being in the Champions League. They didn't win the Serie A? Oh, Napoli did?
They did, yeah. Napoli won the Serie A.
Damn.
How did you not know that?
Scott
McTominay.
You went on exile.
I went on exile,
okay.
And to be honest, I wasn't following the Italian league at the latter end, but that's a shocker.
Yeah.
You know Scott McTominay?
Yeah.
So it means. So it means actually Inzaghi really did prioritize the Champions League and lost it at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, how do you show up in the final playing that way when you lost you had lost
They've
your
lost the Serie A, they've lost the Coppa Italia.
No, because if you lose the Serie A and you lose the Coppa Italia, when you go into the Champions League, you should go as a wounded lion. You know this is your. I'm disappointed.
All right, let me come to you, George. I mean, there was also the debate about the freshness or the youthful exuberance playing against the unexperienced side in Inter Milan. I mean, for a club that was in the final 2 years ago, they had a lot of experience. And then in terms of the average age itself, you look at Inter Milan, the average age was around 32. The average age for PSG was around 25. The oldest player in that PSG team was actually 28 years old, and that is in the starting lineup, and that is Ousmane Dembele. Yeah. And then you look at, so Ousmane Dembele is, he was the oldest. And it's actually Marquinhos, who is 31 years old. And then you look at that, the Inter Milan squad. And Marquinhos is the only player who is above 30 in that team, in that starting lineup. And then you also look at the Inter Milan team. And the youngest in that Inter Milan is Marcus Thuram, who is 27 years old in that starting lineup. The oldest is Acerbi, who is 37 years old. Don't you think that the fact that the players were too old could have played a role in their defeat?
Okay, look, man. Let me give you the tactical review before I answer your major question. See this final. Inter Milan were outclassed all over the pitch. For the first 20 minutes, they had absolute control over the game. Paris Saint-Germain's intentions were clear from the kickoff. A majority of the first half, Inter sat into a 5-3-2 shape with Thuram and Martinez closing down the centre backs, and the 3 midfielders would screen any ball into Dembele. So Paris Saint-Germain had 2 players on the flank. PSG rotated from side to side. Inter's wide centre back are forced to come off the line, side to side. But as it continues, it leaves gaps in between the wing backs and the defenders. They would keep players wide on both flanks to spread the pitch. Inter were mentally exhausted. Inter Milan were mentally exhausted. So, as in, it was their pressing game that kept them dominant in the game. Now I'm talking about Paris Saint-Germain. And let me throw back to this. In Inter's semi-final game against FC Barcelona, the biggest criticism Hansi Flick received was the use of a high line.
Yeah.
But that same high line, Luis Enrique used that same high line to beat Paris Saint-Germain. The only difference was intensity. So look at Dembele. Anytime Jan Soma gets the ball, he's trying to close down. Tries to close down. It doesn't give him any gap to even shoot or even pass the ball. You understand? So Inter was very fluent in possession and can quickly expose teams with their rotation. In the second half, Inter were trying to move forward. They left bigger gaps in between the line. A typical example, Vitinha.
Yeah, Vitinha was absolutely unplayable.
He gave the ball to Ousmane Dembele. Ousmane Dembele gave him that back heel.
Yeah,
it led to the goal. So
that goal itself, if you look at where it all started, it was a free kick. Vitinha goes there, pushes it to Achraf Hakimi. Hakimi gives it back to him. He runs through the middle, cuts in diagonally, and then comes back in. Yeah,
there was a big gap over there. And Vitinha, to be very frank, this season is a top-notch player.
Yeah.
He's a very, very top. I was even his first.
People are saying that Vitinha is who Barcelona fans think Pedri is. Do you agree with them?
You see,
you know, we are in a social media era, so it's easy to pick some of these things and then make a statement out of it.
Pedri is an outstanding player. Let's continue.
Yeah, let's just go.
You see, let me be fair here. I have to be fair. I'll rate Pedri over.
Okay, all right.
I think I will also.
I'll have to rate.
Okay.
It's not like I'm in a Madrid jersey, so I have to be biased. Zlatan. So, Vitinha outclassed the Paris Inter midfield.
Yeah.
One, Federico Di Marco, he was very poor on that day.
Disappointed.
He was very, very poor. At least after the second goal, the coach should have substituted him long time ago. Listen, you see the second goal, when it seemed it was a counter, and even Doué ran from his own half.
Yeah.
Di Marco, I don't know what Di Marco was doing there. I don't say if he was jogging or he was doing what, and even Doué. I'm really disappointed in Simone Inzaghi.
Well, I mean, talking about Simeone Inzaghi, he's headed to Saudi Arabia. He's going to cash in.
But
he's the new coach of Al Hilal.
To be frank, the age, I have to be specific over here. You can't compare 30 plus men
with
to
25 years olds.
They'll outclass you.
Yeah.
Look at Dembele, look at Kvaratskhelia, look at Doué. Even Paris Saint-Germain, they had to even score 8 goals.
Yeah, they had some good chances. Barcola had some very, very good chances.
Barcola, and to be frank, I have to respect Dembele. It got to a time even Dembele was even helping Achraf Hakimi.
Yeah. That has been the difference in what he's been doing for some years now. The fact that he contributes to a team defensively, and that is something Luis Enrique emphasizes on a lot. His maturity has been absolutely top notch.
Luis Enrique is a top notch coach.
All right, you spoke about age. That brings us to the something that is happening this weekend. It is the UEFA Nations League final. It is a 40 23-year-old, arguably the greatest of all time, versus an up-and-coming legend, a 17-year-old from Spain. It is Portugal versus Spain. It is Lamine Yamal versus Cristiano Ronaldo in the final of the UEFA Nations League. But who wins it? Would it come down to experience, or it will always be it will always come to the youthful exuberance? And what Lamine Yamal is doing at age 17 is absolutely mind-boggling. But then let's look at that game. You look at the two teams and how they got into the final. In midweek, we saw Portugal beat Germany by 2-1. Cristiano Ronaldo scoring that match winner, and that was his first ever goal against Germany after many tries. And on Thursday, that game between Spain and France ended by 5-4. We were really treated to a spectacular finale in that game. I mean, Nico Williams opened the scoring for Spain. Mikel Merino doubled the advantage 3 minutes later. And then after the break, Lamine Yamal scored to make it 3-0. Then Kylian Mbappe responded from the spot. But then the Spaniards once again opened a 3-goal lead after Lamine Yamal scored again to make it 4-1. In fact, 5-1, because at that time Pedri had also scored right after Lamine Yamal had scored his first goal. So it was 5-1, and then one man came in, Ryan Cherki. He came in and then changed the game totally. He scored in the 79th minute. Danny Vivian scored an own goal, and then Randall Kolo Muani scored in the final minutes to make it 5-4. They had a chance to even make it 5-5, but then it was too late for the French national team. And once again, Lamine Yamal continued to prove his dominance over Kylian Mbappe. It looks like since Lamine Yamal came up, Kylian Mbappe, whatever Kylian Mbappe will do, Lamine Yamal will find a way to spoil it for him. Yeah, so now let's look at that game. It is a big game. Let me come to you, Jonathan, because you haven't spoken on that. Jonathan, this is a very big game. I know your allegiances with Spain, but then, I mean, big one for Portugal to make it to another final. That is quite refreshing. With Cristiano Ronaldo, they've been to 4 finals. They've won the European Cup. That was in 2016. They've also won the UEFA Nations League. But then this is an opportunity to win another UEFA Nations League. You look at Lamine Yamal and then Spain. They've had a very good run from winning the 2024 European Nations Championship and now to the final of the UEFA Nations League. What kind of a game should we be expecting between Portugal and Spain?
Boss, so if you're asking what kind of game are we to expect, I'll just say goal and also games for the tacticians. You see, if you talk about personnel, we are going to see a sided level personnel, because the Portuguese national team will be coming up with players who are on top of their game. You talk about Nuno Mendes and also all their goalkeeper and also their forward lines, their midfield, Vitinha, Neves. But the only thing that people are still talking about is that first half we saw against Germany from the Portuguese side. And who are we to blame? If you have a team and you have that immense talent, but still they fumble, they struggle to create a meaningful style of play, the only person we can blame is the man you call your coach. And that's Roberto Martinez.
So but then they are into the final.
Exactly.
So how are they struggling to play?
So in the first half, Roberto Martinez decided to play a midfield player in the person of João Neves as the right back. Meanwhile, he was having Diogo Dalot and Nelson Semedo on the bench. They went down by a long goal. In the second half, there was Nelson Semedo's introduction into the game before the midfield started to click, because Vitinha was into the game also. So I don't know if the first half against Germany was just for experiment's sake. But if that's how Roberto Martinez is going to play, we are just going to see another Didier Deschamps 2.0. The reason I'm saying this is that you can have the stars, but if your coach don't have a tactical plan or a style of play, a way, a rhythm to outplay or outclass your opponent, your stars will look like average players. And we saw it with the French national team. So playing against Spain, because the Spanish national team, as we talk, Luis de la Fuente has a plan and a system, and we saw them. They've been executing the same plan over and over, from the Euros to all their games against bigger opponents in Europe. Clearly, it's Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, Lamine Yamal, Nico Williams, and their midfield will dominate in terms of possession, holding the ball and creating chances. They have a goalkeeper who plays from the back very well. Their laterals of Pedro Porro will be playing good. Marco Cucurella has been so fantastic. this is a style of play. They have a plan, so they don't care about your big Ronaldo or your guys.
So you think at the end of the day, the tactical
brilliance of a coach will outclass the individual reliance of a team.
So you think Portugal relies more on individuality?
The Portuguese national team, I am yet to see Roberto Martinez show us that this is what we are doing on the pitch. Boss, the Spanish national team knows very well what Pedri can do, what Fabian Ruiz can do. So Mikel Oyarzabal on the pitch, even against France, had just one task and he was able to deliver. Hold on to the ball, just split passes. Hold on to the defenders 4 and 5 and then make sure that your wingers will run deep and then you give a pass, and we saw that first goal from Nico Williams. Now the question comes in. What is the role of even Cristiano Ronaldo in the Portuguese national team? Is it pressing? Is he adding some firepower up front, or he's just up there waiting for creators to create and then
he's a legend, and
he's a legend.
Yeah, he
11
scores.
men on the pitch, and you are calling yourself a legend instead of you to play a primary role.
But he played an important role for them to beat Germany.
That's my point. Where was the goal calculated from? It was from Nuno Mendes.
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, he's part of the team.
Being part of the team, you have to have a primary role. The coach
His
has to
role
let
is
us
to score goals, and he scored a goal. Yeah.
So my problem is not only about Cristiano. So you see, his role is to score. So Bruno Fernandes and the midfielders have to work extra hard only to win balls for him to score, because he won't be doing it.
Okay. I know,
so that's my
But then
point.
you see, if you have a player like Ronaldo,
then your players will have to be working like Kante.
No, but then look, we saw them against Germany. You don't have to work extra hard to get Ronaldo scoring. He is just good at scoring.
Boss,
just do what you have to do.
Wait, let's say this.
What do you mean by them working hard?
So Nuno Mendes had to leave the left fullback position to at least give them some add up front, and then he created that chance.
But he's been doing that at PSG all season.
Good. Nuno Mendes at Paris Saint-Germain, whenever he comes up front, we know a certain Kvaratskhelia who would drop deep and then help the back in terms of emergency.
Okay.
This is my question.
For this, I will join in this debate.
So boss, this is my question.
Wait. Let me just come in. Kvaratskhelia does not really track back like that. Let me tell you what Luis Enrique does. Anytime this guy Nuno Mendes surges forward, the one person who replaces him there is Fabian Ruiz. Fabian Ruiz does that job. And anytime Achraf Hakimi is surging forward, you have Vitinha getting back and then playing that role, just because Achraf Hakimi is very good at going and coming. Yes, but then for the left back, most of the time it is Fabian Ruiz.
But so at least you are helping me to build a point.
Yeah, but then
so you know that Luis Enrique has a systematic style of play. So whenever the laterals pulls forward, they have midfielders who drag back.
Yeah,
like,
but
you know that.
But
let's go to Roberto Martinez and the Portuguese national team. Are you trying to tell me that a certain Nico Williams will be tormenting, or Lamine Yamal will be having a share with Nuno Mendes on that flank? So Nuno won't get that strength to even go up front. So they will need a player who will be doing the pressing up front, because to be honest, that game it will be so
you think you think Martinez would not be able to find someone to
tactically
do that?
Roberto Martinez is like Otuado.
Wow. I mean,
coach,
we need to get this video. We need to get this out there.
No, tactically Roberto Martinez is like Otuado.
Wow.
See, I'm saying this because he's one of the managers.
This is a coach who has coached Belgium. He's coached Belgium. He's coached
the immense
Wigan.
Talented style of Belgium. And you know what he did? They were on top of Coca-Cola rankings even without winning a trophy. You know what he did again? He's one of the managers who will play football, and he doesn't even care about the defensive variations. He goes into a game. At the 2022 World Cup, they scored only 1 goal in 3 matches. We have to say this. So to me, a manager who was not able to manage Belgium, how can he even do miracles with the Portuguese national team?
But he's got into the finals.
So in the finals, and now what I'm trying to say, in the finals, you only see the faults in your team when you meet a better opponent. Barcelona were dominating every aspect of their game until they met Inter Milan. Exactly. So the Portuguese national team are into the final, but I bet you, when you are playing with a well-systematic style of play, the national team called Spain, And then you'll be relying on only your players to outplay them, but not you, the coach, to add some tactical brilliance. And Yamuberry.
No, but then I don't understand when you say the coach is not that good. This is a coach that has led the team to the final
without a trophy.
Yeah, but then he has done something. I mean, there's that.
How many Roberto Martinez one day can't say his history.
Yeah, but then the thing is, how many coaches have been able to even send Portugal to the final of the of a major championship?
Boss, they played in the group stage of Luxembourg, Iceland.
No, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. We didn't.
These are national teams that even without a coach, anyways, Ronaldo can coach the guys for them to beat them.
Let's move
Slovakia, Luxembourg, and we are praising him.
Let's move to the main.
If Otuado will do
it's okay. Let's move to the main talking point. I mean, Lamine Yamal again. He was in wizardry form against France. He absolutely ran the show against the former champions. How much of a threat would he be to Portugal on Sunday?
You know, as a football fan first, I like a player who talks and delivers. If you've listened to Lamine in the second half of the season all the way till now, he normally likes to push out theirs, right? And then he throws out the there and then he tells you, let's do the talking on the pitch. Yeah. Prior to the game against the French team, the journalist actually asked him a question, and a lot of people were misquoting him, but he made a whole statement. It was like, you guys are making a whole lot of noise about the Ballon d'Or and everything. I think, the player, I think the people, the names we mentioned are all very good players. But if you guys see that I'm going to meet Dembele and we need to play the match on the pitch, then let's do the talking on the pitch. On that day, Yamal was actually fantastic. There's something about the young chap and how he plays his football that actually reminds me of a certain Ronaldinho, right? Enjoy your football, all smiles, not scared to take on a player. And as young as he is, 16 years of age, 17, he picks up the ball and he plays like he is carrying the team. And with a young boy at that age, with such mentality, you cannot but enjoy watching him play. In the game against Portugal, he's going to be key to what the Spanish team will do. But my focus is not going to be on Lamine. If the Spanish team actually wants to win that game, they cannot make the mistakes they did in the second half. When the changes were made, a lot of people will attribute the goals to the changes that were made by both the Spanish team and then the French team. But I will not attribute it to that. Who were the players who came on for the French team? For the Spanish team? Vivian.
They are top rated in their country, but they didn't live up to the bidding. Vivian is one of the best centre backs. He's part of the La Liga team of the season. But
these are the players that actually came on for Spain. Dani Vivian, Fabian Ruiz, Gavi, Dani Olmo, and Samu Agehua. How can Samu Agehua be a Spaniard?
Straight from Nigeria, like a Korodu state.
Let's go.
Lamine Yamal is not a Spanish boy too. So anyway.
Well, but then in a way, there are Arabs that are in Spain.
But my point is, these players, as Jonathan Vivian made the Spanish team of the season.
Yeah.
These are top players who can play on any day. So you do not put it down to just changes. A lot of people are brushing the last 15-minute surge that were made by the French team as just the changes that took out the gas from the Spanish team. That is not the case. Tactically, Didier Deschamps did something. He tweaked the team. He prevented the Spanish boys from playing how they used to play. And he made sure that his boys were more on them. They were pressing more. Of course, Roberto Di Martinez have taken notice of that. And he will prepare for them coming into the game. Definitely the problem that everybody will call out is he will definitely go ahead and play Ronaldo. It's a final. You've played him even before the final. You dare not bench him on the final. How does he make up for the loss of legs Ronaldo presents on the pitch? Because when we say you are playing a Portuguese and they are playing against 10 men, it's not fine. People say that as disrespect, but it's just telling you about the legs you have. Ronaldo won't do the running for you. So obviously you need to make up for that.
Yeah.
So definitely these Spanish guys will take advantage of that because again they are very young boys in there. Pedri and the others, they'll run the show. Lamine would like to have the ball and come at you. Unfortunately, you don't have a Ronaldo who add up to the defensive numbers. How do you approach this game? I think the Portuguese team also has the likes of Vitinha, João Neves. Yeah. They have very good players in there who are also quite young and can match the run. And that is what actually saves them because they make up for Ronaldo not making it because they are very young guys who run around a lot. I think the game is going to go into penalties.
It will go into penalties.
I think it's going to go into extra time because looking at how the Portuguese would approach the game, I don't think. But one thing I like about Martinez is he's a pragmatic coach, unlike Otto.
Yeah.
He's a pragmatic coach.
Look. I don't want any Why do you keep on mentioning Otuado and Roberto Martinez?
That's what I'm just mentioning. I'm just saying so.
Anyways,
he's pragmatic. He's got experience behind him. I don't think he'll make the mistake Inzaghi made. Don't go and play with the Spanish guys.
Yeah. Just be effective.
Just be effective. You are in a final. You are there to win. You are not there to play flamboyant football. You know the strength of your team. You have good passes in the middle. You have players who can actually make things happen within seconds. Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves. What do? Keep the ball when you can keep the ball. Play on the counter. Ronaldo is not going to be off. He can't do the counter for you. So use him as the middle receiver of the ball, right? When you're progressing the ball from a counter, Bruno, Ronaldo, back to Bruno, quickly. Then you find your striker. Ronaldo, and then find him in the middle. I think the set pieces will play a huge part here. Find Ronaldo in the middle when you have your set pieces. Please don't let him take free kicks. He should stop. Don't let him take free kicks. But at least when there is a corner kick, you know Ronaldo has got a good head. He's got a good jump. Put him in there. That is what they should be doing. Fighting for the corner kicks, fighting for the set pieces, putting themselves in, 18 yards, 20 yards, 30 yards away from the box where you can make things happen. And when you do not have the ball, close the spaces. And, one thing they always say, which is basic but true, when dangerous players are the far end of the wings, they are not dangerous. Keep Lamine at the far end of the wings. Let him do all his flamboyant ball playing and leg overs. Keep him at the touchline. Let him play close to the corner pole. Let him do his tennis there. Prevent him from coming into the middle of the park. Because when Lamine gets there, he's got a knack for goals. He's got a knack to pick a pass. And he will open up your defense. And I think this is how I'm actually a Portuguese fan on that day.
Okay. All right. Let me come to you, George. I mean, we've spoken about Lamine Yamal's importance for the Spanish national team. Now, let's look at Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, yes, his best days may be behind him, but then we know how clutch he is when it comes to big games and in finals. How important will Cristiano Ronaldo be for Portugal in this final? And will this be the end of his run when it comes to the national? Do you think this is what he needs to end his time with the senior national team?
Okay. Looking at the Portuguese team, I have to be honest over here. You see, Ronaldo, the last time Portugal beat Spain was 2010. And to be honest here, in this match, I don't need Ronaldo to start.
You don't think he should start?
No. Right now, your man is weak.
Wow.
He is weak. And when it comes to counter and other stuff, running and acceleration, right now, your man is growing. So I think maybe Martinez has to do the work from the midfield. With the use of Vitinha, Bruno Fernandes, and probably you should even bring João Pahina. I think they sent him to
energy.
You should even bring Jao Pahina into the game. Because that guy, I can bet that guy he can be on the he can 247. You even give him chance. I don't understand Roberto Martinez. You understand? So he just has to get his things right. Because that young guy, what were you doing when you were 17? Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
If you joke with that guy, I'm a Madrid fan, but I have to tell you that.
You think Lamine Yamal cannot be marked out of a game?
Lamine Yamal.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, Lamine Yamal will score the winning goal. I'm telling you.
Hey.
Wow.
I'm a Madrid fan, but I have to listen. I have to tell you the truth. That guy, he's the next Messi.
Wow.
Oh, can't you see?
You think he can get a very long
He's
run?
the next Messi. Even 2030, Lamine Yamal will be like 22 or 23.
Yeah.
Oh, that boy, he's the next Messi. So Portugal should just get their things right. They should make sure. You see, Spain within coming to this game, Spain will be like they have to possess the ball. Portugal also have to possess the ball in the midfield. If they allow Spain to possess the ball for more than 30 minutes, I'm telling you, they will even concede 6. First half. You understand? And with Nuno Mendes, if he doesn't take his time today, my small boy will disgrace him. I'm telling you the truth.
So, all right, let's just take your prediction. Larry, who do you think wins, and what scoreline should we be expecting?
Portugal, extra time or penalty win.
Wow. Okay, George.
Straight win for Spain.
Wow.
Straight win.
Well, he's wearing a Real Madrid jersey.
I have
so
to be
it makes
honest.
sense.
It's not like I'm wearing a. I have to. That guy, Lamine Yamal. What were you doing when
Lamine
you
is
were
not
17?
the only player who
Listen,
winning the game.
What were you doing when you were 17? Zlatan.
Me.
Oh, come on.
What were you doing
See,
when you were
come on,
17?
come on.
I was getting 1-1-1-1 in my BEC.
Listen.
In my I say BEC.
Listen, what were you on the pitch when you were
Bro,
17? Let me
bro,
put it that
Getting
way.
A1 for my WhatsApp.
Bro,
Lamine
Lamine
Yamal-
Yamal at 17 does not know how to win the Nations League compared to Ronaldo. Come on. Don't even push
Listen,
Lamine Yamal at 17.
listen. Let me tell you. I'm telling you. Surely next week we'll meet.
We'll be here.
You come and congratulate me. I'm telling you.
Okay.
All right,
We'll be here.
Jonathan, who wins the Ballon? No, we are coming to Ballon d'Or. So, who wins the UEFA Nations League?
So the UEFA Nations League, Apol La Finale, La Furia.
You know, it's an Iberian derby, right?
Yeah.
They are neighbors. Yeah.
Apol La Finale, La Furia Roja. The Spanish people are clinching the trophy coming Sunday. Tomorrow, Spain will be full of joy because a young king, the new kid on the block, will be defeating one of the greatest of all times. And from the press, what they are saying that Ronaldo talking about they comparing Lamine to him, they should be comparing to his age mate, that's Vitinha, but he can contain the pressure. So for a player like Cristiano Ronaldo at age 40 to even call a game against Spain with Spain and their most influential player being Lamine Yamal, that it's a pressure, then I think the dressing room are even afraid and planning how to stop Lamine Yamal. And it's very difficult because there are some players on earth, if you don't target the game and you try to outplay only a player, you fall back into conceding goals. So for me, for a whole Ronaldo to sit behind the microphone to mention the name of Lamine Yamal,
But then Lamine
then he
Yamal-
knows what is going to happen.
No, but Lamine Yamal also mentioned him, so it was right
So
for him
it's-
to also
you see-
speak about him.
When you forecast it, you see if the young ones or the upcoming ones are, acknowledging the elder ones, they show respect. But the moment you see elder one, acknowledging the young ones, there's some sort of fear. Say, no, he's coming to dethrone me.
I have never heard of that.
So the Spanish
I've not heard of that.
Penephobia
I've
and
not heard
caps,
of that.
we've not heard of that.
This one be proverb.
This is my for the book of Zlatan.
Book of Zlatan.
all right, okay. Well, enough can be said about Lamine Yamal. He keeps on hogging the headlines. He makes a lot of things happen from even difficult situations. We all saw how he ran the show against France, and of course, it's another final for him. He's just 17 and he's already won the Euro Championship. Last summer, he led Spain to win the European Championship in Germany, beating England 2-1 in the final. And most of those players are still around, the likes of Fabian Ruiz, the likes of Lamine Yamal himself, the likes of Mikel Oyarzabal, Mikel Merino. These are all players that played a huge role in the success of Spain last season. They are coming up against a very experienced Portugal side who have the likes of Bruno Fernandes, Vitinha, João Neves, and the evergreen Cristiano Ronaldo. But then the biggest debate on the streets everywhere has been who wins the Ballon d'Or. For Lamine Yamal, he's won the double in Spain. He won the league and then the Copa del Rey. I know some people are adding the Spanish Supercopa, but then that trophy actually reflects from the season earlier, and so it's not really counted. But then we'll just give it to them. That is the domestic treble, and so Lamine Yamal won the domestic treble last season. Now, you look at Ousmane Dembele, and the two names that have been mentioned now. Ousmane Dembele won the treble, the proper treble. Won the French League, won the French Cup, and then the UEFA Champions League. He was named the UEFA Champions League Player of the Season. He also won several awards along the way. He won the Golden Boot in France. And so, who wins the Ballon d'Or? Now, I come to you, Larry, for starters. I mean, you look at all the accolades these players have picked and what they've done with their respective clubs.
Okay.
Frankly, or objectively, who wins the Ballon d'Or?
Thank you very much. I came to today's show for this discussion. This is why I came.
Really?
This is why I came. So I want our viewers to listen very well. I'm being very objective.
In fact,
everybody knows that I'm a very biased person. Today I'm being very objective.
So the messages are even coming.
Okay.
I placed the message somewhere and they are coming. Do you just go on with your points?
Okay.
I'll read them later.
Now, obviously there are 4 to 5 front runners. Dembele, Mo Salah, Lamine Yamal, Rafinha. 4. So we'll level it down to these 4. Now, who do I think should take the 4th position? Controversially, Lamine Yamal. Yeah. Listen to me.
Wait.
Listen to me.
In the last 2 weeks,
listen to
Lamine Yamal.
Thank you. You said in the last words.
But then that is
Thank you.
That is how the Ballon d'Or works.
You see, you've even given me an assist.
I take back my
solid assist.
I take back my assist.
Good. Now listen. The Ballon d'Or is not a 2 months or 2 weeks trophy. You do not win Ballon d'Or by being good from February to May. You need to have been good in the season. It's a seasonal trophy. We look between a period. So from last year, somewhere July, all the way to this year, June, we look at your performance in that stretch. Lamine Yamal, let's take La Liga. He won La Liga Player of the Season. No, Rafinha won it. Yes. Good. But Barcelona fans, Jonathan sitting here, says Lamine is their best player. I will not take it away from him. Obviously, there are players who, when they play, the team takes. So that is their defense. He's the player that makes their team tick. But if you go into La Liga, Lamine has 9 goals. 9 goals in the season. He was injured. I do agree, but he has 9 goals. His assist is about 16 or so. If you take the Champions League, Lamine played 13 games. He has 7 goals and assists. No, he has 8 goals and assists. I think 4 goals, 4 assists, 5 goals, 3 assists. Yeah, that's Lamine.
Yeah.
So Champions League-wise, his numbers are not there.
I mean,
Trophy-wise,
comparing him with his own teammate,
yes,
Rafinha.
Trophy-wise, they won a treble.
Domestic treble.
Domestic treble. So that pushes him higher up the ladder. Yeah. But then we are comparing it with Rafinha, your very own teammate. 40 plus goals and assists in the season. Champions League, he hit 20 plus. Obviously, he was a big name to win the Champions League. But his team did not win, so it was given to Dembele. Fair enough. But 40 plus goals and assists, you do not overlook that for Lamine Yamal. And pure football, and he's the next person to come. We agree. He's 17. Give him the next season to win the Ballon d'Or. He will win it eventually, but not this season. Who comes third? Mo Salah. And this is down to his team disappointing him. I give Salah third position. Obviously, the whole of Europe, he's the best player in terms of numbers. 50 plus goals and assists. Clean sweep in the Premier League in terms of seasonal awards. PFA player, FWA player, top goal scorer, top assist maker, Liverpool player of the season, Premier League. Clean sweep. Unfortunately, in Europe, Liverpool crashed out in the round of 16. Domestically, got to the FA Cup final and was beaten by Isaac. So unfortunately, trophy-wise, the team does not push him up there.
Yeah.
So Salah takes third position because he's had a phenomenal season, breaking records throughout in England. Second position, I'll give it to Rafinha. His numbers. Barca getting to the semi-finals. He's showing up. And obviously, people do forget. This Rafinha is a player that came from Leeds not so long ago. But he's gone to Barca and proven that he can lead the line for them. Captain material. Top product. Unfortunately, the reason why I'll pick Dembele ahead of Rafinha is the Champions League, because trophy-wise, PSG did a treble. You did a treble. Numbers-wise, you are in the 40 ranges. I think Rafinha is 48 games and 48 goals and assists in the season. Dembele is 44 goals and assists in the season. So, numbers-wise, you're on the same scale. But at the end of the day, in the Champions League that you both played, Dembele went ahead and clinched it. And that is what wins Dembele.
So you even think the top two should be Rafinha and Dembele, not
simple.
Even
not Lamine. You see, this is what, when I do say this, a lot of people think I don't like Yamin. I tell my Barca fans, I even said it, I love to see him play. But you do not come and use a recency bias and a recency PR to push the 70-year-old to win Ballon d'Or. Just because you feel he was your best player. If he was your best player in your team, give him your team's best player, Barcelona player of the season, give it to him, nobody will come and catch you. But don't push Lamine Yamal on us as Ballon d'Or winner of the season. He is not.
All right. Like I said earlier, there were messages that were coming in. This one says that, good morning, Lukman and the guys. My name is Ken inside Obujo New Market. Dembele is clear favorite for the Ballon d'Or. Won the treble. Yamal is not even close. And this one says that hello Lukman, my name is Nana Yeboah in Agbelempe. My money is on Dembele for the Ballon d'Or award. And then the other one says that, Lukman and the guys, good morning to you. I love your show. My name is Cindy in Legon. Hey Cindy, it's been a while. Lamine Yamal is the new darling boy, and I go for him for the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, the women have already started the darling boy thing. Anyway, Cindy, good morning to you wherever you are this morning. Your message is coming from Legon. And this one says that, hello, Lukman, if Dembele, I think he was writing, if Lamine Yamal wins the UEFA Nations League, he wins the Ballon d'Or. My name is Godwin Hada from Tishi. And this one says that, my name is Robert Dassin from East Legon. I need to be in the studio for this argument. Lamine Yamal give you more than football, and that is why he should win.
What is the more?
The
pure football, aesthetics, pure football. Yeah, they were the same fans who see this numbers game. This numbers game in football, where we moved away from the Ronaldinho, was started by Barcelona fans when Messi was.
Well, so that one was from Robert Dassin. This one says that, he says he gives you more than football, and this is why he should win the Ballon d'Or. Statistics are destroying the game. You heard him again? Statistics are destroying the game. Anyways, and this one, there is another one. This one says that, my name is Nana Osei Turam. I am an Inter fan, but that Dembele is the Ballon d'Or winner. I put Doué ahead of Lamine Yamal. Hey.
Oh,
No,
I blame the Barca fans. Because when people want to use PR last minute to force a player on people, this is what they'll do to you.
Anyways, let me come to you, George. I mean, for Larry, obviously, Ousmane Dembele is the Ballon d'Or winner for him. What do you think?
Okay, I support my brother 100%.
You think Ousmane Dembele should?
100%.
Simple.
Do you know?
Is it because you're a Real Madrid fan?
Oh, it's not like I'm a Real Madrid. I have to be honest over here.
Yeah. Okay.
You see, I like Lamine Yamal. But to be honest here, I have to tell you the truth. Ousmane Dembele is the right person for the Ballon d'Or. Because this is in, you know, they won a quadruple, right?
Yeah.
They won the trophy, the champion.
Yeah.
They won the Queen's League
and
then Champions League.
So Ousmane Dembele, I have to be honest over here. He is the favorite, and nothing can change it. You understand? Checking the stats this season, Ousmane Dembele has played about 39 matches. He has 33 goals, 13 assists, and he has 2 hat-tricks. So I don't know who has performed or outclassed him this season.
So you are basing it purely on statistics.
On statistics, yeah, I have to base it on statistics because I don't know who outclassed Ousmane Dembele this season. Who? You just
In terms of numbers, Rafinha edges him a little.
But Rafinha didn't win the Champions League.
Yeah, the UEFA Champions League is important.
Exactly. And the Champions League is way bigger than that your domestic treble. And he also did the domestic treble. So Ousmane Dembele is far better. He's the right candidate for the Ballon d'Or. No two ways about it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So both my pandas are going for Ousmane Dembele as the Ballon d'Or winner. Where is Jonathan? I mean, I know he would be having a different opinion on this one.
Usually go for Lamine Yamal.
But then, I mean, if you also look at it from the another view, there is more to be played before the Ballon d'Or award itself comes. There are people that are mentioning one player that I don't know how he also came into the arguments, but then it kind of makes sense. Achraf Hakimi. People are saying that if you look at his importance to the PSG team and the fact that he's had a very good run this season. I mean, he's also won the domestic treble and then and then he scored at every stage of the elimination games. And then again, there is even the Africa Cup of Nations, which is coming up, which could go in his favor. But do you think that he makes a good claim of entering into that debate?
So you see, unfortunately...
But then I say he is my African Player of the Year.
That, again, is something I want to argue. I disagree on. I think Mo Salah should take it.
Mo
Salah should take it.
Why are you saying Mo Salah?
African Player of the Year. Clearly, he's been the biggest African product or ambassador in the year in world football. What he's done in England.
No, but then you see, I think if I had the chance, I think we should do this very briefly. There is Victor Osimhen, who won everything in Turkey. There is also Mohamed Salah, like you say, who won the English Premier League. There is Achraf Hakimi, who won the treble. I mean, these are the three.
Look, man, I want to ask you and our viewers a simple question.
Yeah.
If you look at the hype Salah has given the African continent this season, compared to Achraf Hakimi's quadruple, compared to the Osimhen's Galatasaray win at Turkey.
I think Osimhen has been louder.
No.
Listen.
Because getting to the end of this
season, I'm coming. Mo Salah is the player to get English media to start doing a PR for him for Ballon d'Or. Never has it happened that the English media will start backing a player for Ballon d'Or. The English media starts a PR job. Somewhere start December, January, started a PR job for Ballon d'Or for Mo Salah. It's never happened. To get the whole of England backing you with their media. That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, Jamie Carragher didn't back him. Jamie Carragher doesn't even think he will be there. Yeah.
Charlie, like that guy. That guy is okay. No, I mean, did you see the Premier League accounts on social media? December, January, February. It was all about Mohamed Salah and the records he was breaking. Salah, world best. He's another player. Hardly have you ever seen the English media do that. Hardly.
Because usually African players
media doing that for Achraf Hakimi.
Yes, I did.
No.
I did.
Look, not to the extent.
Let me tell you how I did find out. You know, he won the Marc Vivian Foe Award in France, which is the best African player award. Yeah. And they've been doing that all campaign. I mean, they've mentioned him along with Serhou Guirassy.
Look, man, look at the record Salah has broken. Salah has gotten into the top 5 top scorers in the English Premier League history.
But then it's not just about...
Look at the record he set. Assists in a season. The most goals in a month. Come on. He's the best African ambassador
since
this
Jonathan
season.
is here, I would want him to crown the show with his Ballon d'Or favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, you shouldn't have been out there. But
So-
then,
Ballon d'Or, top 3 from the sports Zlatan. Trois will be going to a certain man far away from Brazil, and his name is Rafael Diaz Beloli. Rafinha. Uno. Bako. I wanted to skip the second one, but I will do one. Deux will be going in for Mohamed Salah.
Okay.
Because you can't win the English Premier League and also the top scorer in the league at the expense of Mohamed Salah, who peaked and dropped because Salah was up there. No one is talking about injury. It's part of football.
Yeah.
Sweep all the individual accolades in England. Uno. Usman Ballon d'Or. Usman
Well, so I
Ballon
mean,
d'Or.
it is unanimous. All my
Usman
pundits
Dembele Ballon d'Or.
are going for Usman Dembele.
Boss,
for
if Dembele
the
doesn't
Ballon
win
d'Or.
the Ballon
Yo,
d'Or,
it's okay. It's
we will
okay.
riot.
It's okay.
We will
if
riot.
Dembele doesn't win the Ballon d'Or,
We will riot.
me, I'll come here in a PSG shirt, written at my back. Dembele deserved the Ballon d'Or more than any player on earth.
Anyways, we live to see who wins the 2025 Ballon d'Or. But the funny thing is that the one man who has been chasing the Ballon d'Or the most seems to be out of the race for the trophy. I mean, Kylian Mbappe. I mean, his move from Paris Saint-Germain to Real Madrid was fueled by personal ambition and then even team glory. He wanted to win the UEFA Champions League so bad that he had to join Real Madrid. Unfortunately, that didn't happen. Then again, even with the Ballon d'Or, after scoring the most goals in the Spanish La Liga, it's still not even enough for him to be mentioned in the conversation for the 3 top players for 2024-2025 season. But unfortunately for us here, for me, my Ballon d'Or winner will be Alexander Isak. Whether you like it or not, he is my Ballon d'Or winner.
He's
But
a
the-
prolific striker, but
I've said it. I've said it. Anyways, this is how-
Alexander Isak.
Yeah.
Look,
But
Boss,
then,
so you ignored Steven Amankona.
Ashok,
you
ignored Steven
unfortunately,
Amankona.
this is all time will allow us on today's show. All right, so Larry
Milos Kekes is coming.
is coming.
Florian
to you.
Wirtz is coming. Next season, treble, sharp.
Oh, it was the same. It was the same thing.
Next season, treble, sharp. And I want to give a shout out
next
to.
season, and it's not you even win one.
That is what they said when he came.
All right,
Next
anyway,
season we'll see.
anyways.
But a big shout out to one very big woman who is a new listener on today's show.
Oh, okay.
She's listening, so
What's her name?
shout outs to you. She's listening. Thank you.
Oh,
Hey.
you should have done this. What's the name?
Anyways, whoever that big woman is, we will find out. The date will come out. We will definitely find out. Well, unfortunately, that will be all time will allow us on this morning show. It is the weekend sports rally. It's been another exciting Saturday morning here live on Z101.9 FM. Make sure you enjoy the rest of our programming. My name is Lukman Evergreen Moment, and I did this with Larry, George, and Jonathan Binsua. Catch us again next week for another episode of the weekend sport rally. Bye bye for now.